Hello, this is Amin, and you are watching session 33 of ASP.NET Core tutorial. In this session, we introduce three more HTML helper, and also we will discuss about data annotation. In this session, we introduce DisplayNameFor, DisplayFor, and ActionLink. If we want to display a data from a static repository or from database or even from variable or model, we can use DisplayNameFor as a label and DisplayFor as a data of that property. Also, we can create anchor link with HTML helper action link, which has a different version of overloaded version, and we work with the overloaded version, which has link label and also action method name and controller name. Let's flip to Visual Studio and create another view with these HTML helpers. This is the project that we have been working throughout this tutorial. And if you remember in session 32, we create one post action method of create a strongly typed view, which we can see the submitted data. And in this session, we want to pass these submitted data to another view, which we call it view, and we pass these data to view with the view method. And now I should create one view inside cast subfolder with name of view. And I use a razor view empty. And here I call it view. And I use a strongly typed view, and I use a model directive, and I bind this one to create cast view model. And I create the rest of the code, which create a card with use of Bootstrap. This piece of code has viewback with title dynamic property, and I can use it for title of my browser. And I change the title to cast view model. And also the rest is the code which I create a card with title of submitted cast data. And now I want to use HTML helper for displaying the data that I pass to this view. And here I use DisplayNameFor, and just I need to use Lambda Expression again and bind this one to amount. And also I use another HTML helper, which is DisplayFor, and again I use Lambda Expression and bind it to again amount. Here I will have the label of amount, which is amount, and here I can see the value of this property. And next I use break line to go to the next line and show the rest of the data that I want. In the interest of time, I skip writing all the code, and I just copy and paste the rest of the code here. Now I have all my required field to be displayed: category, data, and comment and payment method. And as you can see, I just use DisplayNameFor as a label and DisplayFor for presenting the value of that property. And also I use another HTML helper, which is ActionLink. And as you can see, it has 7 overloaded version. But here I use the overloaded version, which has the label of anchor link and also name of action method and name of controller. As a label, I mention back to create cost, and when a user click on this link, it should be redirected and back to create a strongly typed view. That's why I need one action method name, and my action method name is create a strongly typed view. If I use this action link, this HTML helper inside a subfolder, I don't need to use a controller name. But here I want to introduce this action link and this HTML helper with more detail, and that's why I use controller name as well. These are the codes that I should enter in the view data, and let me save it and run the project to see the result after the submitting create a strongly typed view action method. Now project is up and running, and I go to cast create a strongly typed view, and I submit the data that I want and change some data and click create button which submit this for, and as you can see I redirected to recently created view, and here is the card that I created, and I have amount and category and its value, date of submission, comment, payment method, and also one anchor link, which when I click on it, I return to create a cost record. But as you can see, for example, the data format, or for example, I want to here have, for example, cost amount, or I want to change this label to selected category, or I want to change the labels a little bit, or the data that I want to present a little bit. For this purpose, I back to my project and use data annotation inside the view model that I passed it to this view. This is the view that I used. For example, if I want to change the label of this property, I can use display data annotation. And as you can see, the namespace is not available in this class, and I can add it with control period key, and it is inside system components model data annotations, and as long as I add this namespace to this class, I can use the data annotation inside my class, and I change its name to cost amount. And also, I want to show payment method with one space between payment and method. That's why I use, again, display data annotation. And I use name and use payment method with one space. And also here, I want to see the label as selected category. With these changes, I run the project to see the changes inside the respective view. Project is up and running, and I go to cast strongly type view. And here, as the label of this one, you can see the changes even inside create cost record. It's changed to cost amount, and also here is selected category, and you can see the changes here. And also, as they are using the same view model, as long as I click on create a button, it's submitted, and you can see the changes that I made inside this view as well. And you can see I have cost amount as a label and selected category as label of the category. Also, as you can see, I have the full date here. Another data annotation that I can use is data format, Let's back to Visual Studio and see how I can change this data format when I want to present it. Here above the field that I want to change its format when I want to present it, I can use display format data annotation. And also inside this one, I can use data format string and data format, and I use the data format which can present just short date, which is include date, month, and year. For this one, I can use this format. And also the link of all the available format for date or for the rest of the property type. You can see the link available in description of this video and also in our slide and on our website in a text version of this video. Let me save this project with this change and run the project once more. And go to Cast Strongly Type View. And here, as it is the editable part, I have date and time, but as long as I submit it, and here you can see I have just the date with short date format, but here you can see all the available format in ASP.NET Core for decimal, integer, date, and the rest. And here also you have the available format for date, and you can see if you use a small character of D, you have short date pattern. If you use capital D, you have long date pattern, and the rest that you can read for more information. And also I can change it with my custom format. For example, I want to see the date with day, months, and year. Let me save the changes and run the project and see the result. Again, I go to Cast Strongly Type View, and here when I submit it, you can see I have the date with my custom format that I entered. Also, if I selected nothing as a selected category and I create it and submit it, you can see I have null value in front of selected category. But I want to show some data. For example, when I select nothing as a category, I want to see a proper message that the category is not selected. For this one, I can use another data annotation. And here above the category, I can use another display format. And here I can use null display text. It means if this one is null, show the message that I want, and I want to show category not selected. Let me save it and run the project. And go to Cast Create Strongly Type View, and here I select nothing as a category and submit the form. And here you can see I have the message that I want. In this session, we introduce 3 HTML helper: DisplayNameFor, DisplayFor, and also ActionLink. And also we work with data annotation for display name and also display format. These are the topics that I want to present in this session, and these 2 links are the available format for date and time and also for the rest of types. You can read these 2 links for more information regarding display format and for data format string. Thank you for being with us. Don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel and like our videos and follow us on our social media. Thank you for watching this session.